All right, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. This is what we're doing right now. This is what we are doing. The bulls are feeling good about these cannabis stocks, and I've been telling you about these cannabis stocks for a minute now. I've been really accumulating these cannabis stocks for years now. In the last 6 months or so, I've really been racking them up. I have a few different cannabis stocks, this being one of them. And I've shown y'all this a few different times, right? Let me see. So I'll make sure we're good. Yeah, we're good. We're good. So, I mean, and it's not that I'm trying to tell you what to do with your money. It's just that, as you're going to see from some of these stories that I'm going to show you, there's a reason why I've been bullish on cannabis stocks. There's a couple of different reasons why. And also, shout out to whoever sent that $100 Cash App for support. I don't know if it was in regards to this channel, if it was in regards to my other channel, whoever it was, whatever reason you sent it for support, it is appreciated. And of course, Cash App at Crypt Talk. Let's go. Also, we're going to talk about the crypto bull cycle. What are we thinking? How are we feeling about how the crypto is shaking out right now? Bitcoin at 121,000. It did get up to about 125, 126 for a hot second. And, you know, now it's going back a little bit. Okay, hold up real quick. Let's go back. Let me go back. Yeah. Ethereum's at 43. You know, it's kind of red right now, but I have some stories that I'm going to show you of why I really personally think about the crypto market. We're really going to see some activity first quarter, second quarter of 2026. I don't even think we have started yet. I think we're just kind of seeing just little hints of where we can go with this thing. $125,000 Bitcoin. Remember, we just got out of September, which is typically a sideways at best month for crypto, and typically October it kind of jumps up. But if we could hang around 120,000, and we were 110 plus even last month, we got some people calling for $150,000 Bitcoin very conservatively. I think that maybe they're on to something. But let's go ahead and stick with the topic, the first topic, which is Tilray, 22% up today on marijuana. For my personal portfolio in this particular stock, I am up 156% all time total gain. Why? Why are these cannabis stocks just picking up the way they are? What is the reason? What is the reasoning? Why are we seeing cannabis stocks do so well? Well, could have something to do with this. DEA cannabis rescheduling update. So what's been going on is there's been actually for years, but it's really been ramping up as of late. And I think Donald Trump is really taking it there. Now, he may be doing it for his own personal reasons. You know, he did share a video about how cannabis can help elders and, you know, CBCs or whatever, you know, how it can help medically with a lot of the ailments of elders. That really made the stocks jump. He could be doing it as a distraction. He could be doing it because he understands the potential economically for the country. It could be all those things. But the rescheduling is something that has been being spoke about for years now. Like, understand, as of now, marijuana is classified as the same as heroin. So they're saying highly addictive, no medical purposes. This is what they're saying on a federal level. Of course, on a state level, we have recreational use, we have medical use. But on a federal level, and understand the politics behind why federally marijuana has been illegal for years now. And it's because of the disruption that it would do to the labor industry, to the fossil fuel, to steel, to medical, to building, lumber, if I didn't already say that. Some don't know, in the 1930s, George Washington Carver created a car created from hemp fibers. And that's when the Marijuana Tax Act was implemented pushed by the likes of the Rockefellers and the DuPonts or whatnot, because they understood how much money that they would lose if cannabis was federally legal. Because that car that George Washington Carver created was 1,000 pounds lighter than the cars of the day, ran on biofuel. It was 10 times stronger. Matter of fact, you can find that car on YouTube right now. So because of politics and industrial interests, marijuana has federally been illegal for the past damn near century now. Now what's happening is technology and industry is catching up to the developments and the benefits of marijuana. And because of the revenue that it brings to states for recreational use, it's now seen as more of a viable option. Not only that, like most people agree that marijuana should be federally legal. So they're having rescheduling conversations. They're having federal legalization conversations. And I think as we get closer to that, and as information and as sentiments indicate that we're probably going to head that direction, a lot of these companies that provide medical and or recreational use and products, they're starting to see a surge. And I believe that is why we're starting to see these marijuana stocks really start to flourish. What else is going on in the cannabis? Let's look at this. Specifically, Tilray brand stocks glow green today. So Tilray was supposed to lose money in quarter one. It delivered a surprise profit instead. And I think the reason why people were expecting Tilray to have losses is because, like I said, I've been in these marijuana stocks for years, and I've noticed they actually been going down slowly, like losing value. And I just keep buying the dip because I'm just confident. I was confident that we would get to the point to where we're at right now. Now, who knows how it's going to really go? But if it goes federally legal, if it gets classified, reclassified, I think these stocks are going to blow. I think we're going to see a situation where these stocks, which are now worth like $2, enter the 3-digit conversation. And there's it's not just Tilray. There's a few different stocks. I think once they really get the green light, pun intended, you're going to see products and services. You're going to see revenues flow. You're going to see other states open up. Remember, all these states that are opening up recreational use, medical use, like these states are the equivalent of small countries at least. And when they know they can produce and sell products and services, I think we're going to see a lot of bullish activity in the cannabis sector. So not all Tilray news was great. Revenue growth was a modest 5% year over year, and gross profit margin declined 3 full percentage points to 27%. But Tilray management says it's focused on operational efficiencies and profitabilities, and that focus bore fruits in the form of a tiny $1.5 million net profit. So that's not a lot for a company, but it is when the company's been trading sideways or slowly declining for years, right? Further good news appeared on the company's cash flow statement, which showed $10.9 million in negative cash or negative free cash flow. That sounds bad, but a year ago, Tilray was still burning cash at a rate of $42 million per quarter. So less than $11 million is a big improvement. Like I said, these stocks they've been losing slowly in some cases, but they nevertheless, they haven't been really reporting profits year after year. But as we see these markets open up, as we see the sentiment of federal legalization or reclassification on the table, we're seeing more bullish sentiments. And like I showed you, since I've been holding Tilray, it is up 156%. So am I saying that you should buy Tilray? I'm saying I'm going to buy the dip, right? So it's been going up and up. And every time we have that 4% loss, that 6% loss, because people are taking profits, right? Then I'm going to go ahead and buy the dip. I think long range, I think long term, within the next few years, with what the sentiments are heading, I think that these are going to be some of those stocks that like people are going to get rich from. It's going to seem like it's overnight, but it's really not. Because I've been really stacking these for years now. I've been stacking 3 different stocks and an ETF, a marijuana ETF. So it's going to seem like it's overnight, but it's not really overnight. It never really is. All right. So I'm just showing you guys like, hey, I'm just showing you like what and why. That's what I do here on Blockchain Crypto Gang. I give you the what's happening, and why I feel this way about it or why it's happening. And when you got that, when you have that information, you can do with it what you will. But when you're armed with that information, you'll probably make better decisions. So yes, still bullish on the marijuana stocks. The question is whether Tilray can maintain its momentum gained to quarter one. Wall Street analysis don't think the company can be consistently profitable before 2028 at its earliest. But if Tilray can surprise them that on that, like it surprised them today, the stock could be a winner. So they're saying, hey, you know, they're not really all of that confident. I am though. Should you buy stock in Tilray brands right now? Before you buy stock in Tilray, consider this. The Motley Fool Stock Advisor Analysis team just identified what they believe are 10 best stocks for investors to buy right now. Tilray brands wasn't one of them. The 10 stocks that made the cut could produce monster returns. So, okay. They're on Netflix. They're on NVIDIA, which I own both of those. But I'm on Tilray because number one, it's a smaller market cap and it has a lot of potential. I know how much potential the cannabis industry has. I remember doing a paper in college on industrial hemp. This was over 10 years ago, by the way. And even then, they were saying an easy trillion could be added to the economy based on legalization, federal legalization of cannabis. I think that number is very conservative right now because you have the medical, you have industrial, you have recreational, you have a lot, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, that's that. Now let's get back to the crypto. Let's get to the crypto. So we've been seeing, you know, it's been kind of down. People have been taking profits. We're looking at the market right now, and you know, it's you know, 7-day we're still up on Bitcoin, but we're down on Ethereum. We're down 10% on XRP. People have been taking profits. Nevertheless, we're still holding at a $4 trillion market cap for crypto. We're still looking at 120,000 plus Bitcoin, a 4,000 plus Ethereum. BNB has been really making some moves this past week. XRP is still holding that, you know, under $3 to 273 or whatnot. And we see some losses being taken all throughout the market right now. So why am I still bullish? Why am I still bullish? One of the reasons why I'm still bullish is because of this right here. $150,000 Bitcoin price likely after BTC anchors to a high value area, says analysis. So they're saying 150,000 is likely. And yeah, that's like a no-brainer. Bitcoin retained range-bound trading above 120,000 after 8% leverage reset in future spot demand and declining open interest point to renewed buyer confidence. The MVRV ratio signaled a potential 15 to 25% upside, targeting 140 to 150 by the end of quarter four. So they're saying by the end of this year, they're looking at a 140 to 150, $150,000 Bitcoin right now. What we're in August, or no, excuse me, we're not in August. We're in October. Still got a couple months left. I think that that's very reasonable, especially when you look at this right here. Let me show you something. To me, this is huge. Let me show you something. There's a lot of different things, a lot of different indicators for me why I think Bitcoin and crypto overall is going to be just fine. Where's the one I was looking for? Here we go. I think this is the one. Here we go. Over 61% of BTC hasn't moved in a year. Over 61% of Bitcoin hasn't moved. That means people are hodling. Haven't even moved in a year. 61%. Most Bitcoin, that's the majority of Bitcoin, has not moved in over a year. That means people are hodling. That means people are accumulating and just sitting down with it. Do we have trades? Do we have people taking profits or maybe trading for other coins that they think may have even more upside potential? Sure. But for the most part, the largest cryptocurrency by market cap, one of the top 5 assets of all time, I believe, top 7, hasn't moved in a year. That means people are bullish. That means people are accumulating. That's a good thing. Then we have news like this. We have these large companies, like I told you before. One thing you want to pay attention to is when these large companies and institutions are making moves to accumulate or to integrate within crypto. Because if they're making moves like that, they're doing it because they want to make a profit. And what they're saying is they see Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as profit producers. So we have Walmart backed OnePay to offer crypto trading. Let's see what the video. Okay, I'll have to edit that out later. Let's get back to it. Like I said, another reason why I am bullish on crypto and Bitcoin.
Speaking of crypto, sources telling CNBC that OnePay, the fintech firm majority owned by Walmart, is joining the crowded ring of crypto custody and trading. Our Hugh Son is here with some of that reporting. Morning, Hugh.
That's right, Carl. So OnePay, created by Walmart and Ribbit Capital in 2021, will soon be adding crypto to its mobile banking app, sources tell me. OnePay will be adding access to Bitcoin and Ether in coming weeks with the help of a startup called Zero Hash, according to these sources. The move means that crypto is increasingly seen as a core offering that sits alongside traditional banking services like savings accounts, credit cards, and wealth management. Companies from Morgan Stanley's E-Trade to SoFi have announced plans to add crypto in recent months. In terms of use cases, OnePay customers could presumably convert their crypto into cash and then use those funds to make purchases at a Walmart or pay off their card balances.
This is something that we're seeing more and more. We get this kind of news like every day. Like every day we get news like this, but especially during bull cycles. Especially during bull cycles, because you have to understand, okay, Walmart is saying, yes, we'll take your crypto. We expect crypto to go up in value. So you could use that leverage and buy products from us. Yes, we're going to let you trade your crypto. That crypto is going to increase in value. You're going to have more purchasing power with us. This is how they're playing the game. I'm not saying this. This is what they're saying. So a lot of these companies, especially that do commerce, the Walmarts, the Amazons, the PayPals, yes, they're allowing you to trade crypto on their platforms because they expect that value to go up and they expect you to pay it with them. Or even if you're just trading on their platform and you're putting it on their platform, I mean, it's a win-win for them, and especially during bull cycles. So what they're saying is they expect the price to go up. They're not doing this because they think the price is going to go down within the next 6 months or a year or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years. They're saying that they expect it to go up and they want to be in on the deal.
OnePay's crypto adoption comes as the mobile banking app is gaining traction with users. The fintech firm is now number 5 on Apple's App Store ranking for finance apps, ahead of larger companies including JPMorgan Chase, Robinhood, and Chime.
So as you can see, these crypto platforms are outpacing traditional financial platforms.
Notably, most of the apps ahead of OnePay in that list, including PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App, already offer crypto. Carl?
Hey, do you see this as sort of a seminal moment? I mean, given it is related to Walmart in the trajectory of crypto becoming a mechanism of payment?
I mean, I think it is in the terms of use cases and just the ease of which, regular folks, people who, go to Walmart, there are 150 million Americans who use Walmart online or in person every week, can now actually have crypto in the very same app. They can buy it, they can hold it, they can store it, they can trade it if they want. And then when they want to go pay for something, they can, turn it into cash and like we said, go, OnePay is actually integrated into the checkouts of Walmart. So it is, I think, a milestone in that case, Carl.
So as you can see, and just, side note, yes, I do have Walmart stock. And I actually Just received a couple of products the last couple of days from Walmart that I ordered. So once again, it's like these large companies are wanting access to and to give access to crypto because they want in on what they know is the biggest wealth transfer that we've ever seen in human history. Bigger than gold, bigger than oil. And this wealth transfer, unlike gold, unlike oil, is accessible to the general public, meaning everyone can participate at one way or another. So we have stuff like that. We have stuff like this right here. Now, this is for some of the tinfoil hats or those who really pay attention to politics. The BRICS new system could reshape global finance. Now, a lot of people are saying BRICS, they're creating a different currency. They're trying to kill the dollar, the US dollar. They're doing this and that. Well, what they are doing are looking for alternatives to what we call the standard, right? The reserve currency, which is at this point in time, the US dollar. And we have seen the US dollar lose purchasing power. I mean, over the last year, not to even speak about since 1971. So if you're concerned about that, if you're trying to move your money into something that you think will hold value, a lot of people are going to precious metals, gold. Gold has been on an uptick as of late. Some people are going to, different stocks and investing options. Some people are saying, hey, well, crypto. If we could hold it in Bitcoin, we could hold the value. Then we could trade that into whatever currency we want to deal with leverage. So if the dollar's going down and Bitcoin's going up and you're holding Bitcoin, then you can hold that Bitcoin. You'll get against the dollar, whatever currency, whatever dollar you're speaking of, it's increasing in value. You're increasing your purchasing power. So now when you trade back to the dollar, you have more of those dollars. That's just basically how it goes. So if you're concerned with, some of these moves that internationally are going on, well, thank God you live in a time where you can trade dollars internationally. You can interchange instantly into different currencies, including digital currencies. So don't cry about it. Do something about it. Understand these trends. Stay hip on the information, and you'll be able to make the type of decisions that will help. And look at this. The SEC opens door for more assets as XRP joins Hashdex NASDAQ ETF. So what you're seeing is a trend, right? We're seeing that Wall Street wants in more and more to have access to and give access to different cryptocurrencies via or through ETFs. So they're not doing this because they think that these cryptos are going to lose value. They're not saying, oh, we think XRP is going to lose money, so we're going to offer it to people. That's not what they're doing. They want in on these because they expect heavy motion on the upside with Bitcoin and for that to drag these altcoins and for those to drag these other coins. That's what they're seeing in the future. And because they're seeing it, they're not just seeing it. They're not just talking about it. They're doing something about it. They're creating products and services. They're accumulating these different assets, which means that they're going to push the value of these assets up. Meaning if you've been holding these assets for some time, you're starting to see profit. And if you haven't, you potentially still can. So this isn't me. This is just like this is what they're doing. Look at this. Coinbase applies for U.S. banking license, joining growing pack of crypto firms. So more and more crypto firms. Like I said before, these crypto firms, especially these exchanges, these centralized exchanges particularly, they want to be within the conversation of banking and banking realm. Let's look at it. America's biggest crypto exchange, Coinbase, became the latest company in the digital asset space to apply to the Office of the Comptroller of Currency for National Trust Charter. The public company announced that the move on Friday, following in the footsteps of stablecoin users Circle and Paxos and fintech Ripple. If approved, Coinbase said that it would be able to faster offer products and services and further innovate to integrate digital assets into traditional finance, the company said. So you see a trend here. The license allow companies that aren't banks to oversee their own reserves and take custody of assets for institutions. So they're doing this because, they want to be able to provide more services to institutions, big money holders. Coinbase has no intention of becoming a bank, the exchange said. It's our firm belief that clear rules and the trust of our regulators and customers enable Coinbase to confidently innovate while ensuring proper oversight and security. If approved, the charter would continue to open up opportunities for Coinbase to launch new products beyond custody, including payment and related services, with the confidence of regulatory clarity, fostering broader institutional adoption. Institutional adoption means other banks, other money market providers. Means big money. So these large companies within finance, within crypto, within different industries, various industries, are making moves to secure the bag in digital assets known as cryptocurrency. This is what they're doing. This is the game they're playing. They're getting themselves in position for what they feel is potentially a huge integration and increase in value of these cryptocurrencies. So now those of us retail investors, some of us that's been in the crypto for years now, been accumulating and hodling, we're starting to see what some of us were talking about that seemed far-fetched at the time. Oh, banks are going to be using crypto and XRP is going to be a banker's coin, and they're going to be putting Bitcoin in reserves for large companies. Like, these things are now happening. These companies are now integrating, developing products and services institutionally to acquire, trade, accept cryptocurrency. They're saying they're not doing this because they think that the market's going to crash. I'll just put it like that. JP Morgan, of course, JP Morgan, they talk out the side of their neck a lot. Charlie Kirk. But at the same time where they've been down in Bitcoin, they've also been making a lot of moves, crypto-esque, blockchain-esque moves. And they understand that, you got to get into the game, baby. So they're calling Bitcoin a debasement trade, which means you're probably not bullish enough. This is JP Morgan, a one-time hater of Bitcoin. But were they really hating, or were they really just trying to keep the market down as they accumulate? I think the latter. They're saying you're not bullish enough. They're saying the upside of Bitcoin is so great that even though it sits at 121,000 today, you're not bullish enough. Even though all these different stories I've shown you about BRICS, about Walmart, about Coinbase, MicroStrategy, and others, you're still not bullish enough. Japan adding Bitcoin to their largest pension fund, not bullish enough. El Salvador accepting Bitcoin as legal tender, not bullish enough. The world's biggest investment bank doesn't hand out nicknames for speculative assets highly, but Bitcoin has notched 17 years of unstoppable block after block resilience, and Wall Street has finally conceded what the crypto punks have known all along. There is no alternative when trust in fiat runs thin, like it or not. And here's what I'll say. As someone who does have gold, I have physical gold in the form of coins, in the form of jewelry, and also have gold ETFs and different investments. Here's the thing, though. You can't spend gold. You can't transport gold as safely and securely as you can Bitcoin. You can't get on a plane with $100,000 worth of gold without raising red flags. You can get on a plane with $100,000 of Bitcoin because it could just be on your phone. You can spend Bitcoin. You can trade it 24/7. If it's 3 a.m. and somehow I'm out of cash, I could sell my Bitcoin at 3 in the morning and use it instantly. I could use it on my Coinbase card directly. I could sell it on my Cash App and it will go instantly into my bank or my spending balance for my Cash App card. I can actually use it. There's places that accept Bitcoin right now. And if not, I can on-ramp it on a credit card. You can't do that with gold. I'm not saying gold's not a good value. I'm not saying, don't invest in gold or other precious metal. So what I'm saying is, as far as a medium of exchange, gold isn't that. You can't go to the grocery store and just say, hey, I got $300 worth of groceries. Let me chip a little bit off of this ounce. I have an ounce of gold. I'm going to chip a little bit off. We're going to weigh it out. And then it doesn't work like that. But essentially, I could use Bitcoin instantly like that. So as a practical safe haven, as a practical medium of exchange and store of value, you're not bullish enough on that Bitcoin is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. That's what JP Morgan Chase is saying. You're probably not bullish enough. So there's that. We got the marijuana stocks popping. We got a lot of bullish sentiment all over the crypto market. All kinds of opportunities, buying opportunities right now. Dips that you could be buying. XRP might not be a bad dip to buy. Ethereum might not be a bad dip to buy. Solana might not be a bad dip to buy. If you're into Dogecoin, that might not be a bad dip to buy right now. And something else that's very bullish, in my opinion, is I have a few different meme coins on different blockchains. And they're holding pretty good. They're holding pretty well. Considering the market's kind of red today, they're holding pretty well. They're not taking the big 20 and 30% dips that you'll typically see on the downside. They're holding. And I'm looking at it like this. Like, let's look at a meme coin. Let's see what we got. Shiba Inu. Let's look at Shiba Inu right now. Market cap of $7 billion. Now remember, Shiba Inu got up to $40 billion during the peak of last bull cycle. Got up to $40 billion. Off of pure hype. No utility, no nothing. Just pure hype. Got to $40 billion at its peak. So think about some of the meme coins that are out there that actually have an ecosystem involved, that actually have good traction on social media, like Sneak, for instance. Sneak, which is a Cardano meme coin, it's at about 300 million-ish right now. That means it still has to triple up just to get to 1 billion. And if it was able to do Shiba Inu numbers, that would be another 40x. So that'd be 120x from where it's at right now. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying if Shiba Inu was able to do that during the pandemic, during that bull cycle, with absolutely no utility, absolutely no product, and I guess and on Ethereum chain, which, whatever. Is it possible that some of these other meme coins could do those kind of numbers? And if they do, compared where the market cap is now, and if they're able to reach a Shiba Inu, even 7 billion currently, but like at their peak of 40 billion, that's a lot of people making a lot of money. Because the people who had Shiba Inu when it was at 40 million last bull cycle, if they held it up to that 40 billion, they 1000x. Those are the millionaires. Now, of course, you see how far removed we are from that 40 billion now. So people that are holding it now, they're probably stuck. What I'm saying is there's a lot of potential this bull cycle, depending on how you play the game. But you can only play the game based on how you. Here's another one. HDERA. What's that? 9 billion market cap. A lot of people are bullish on that HDERA. I got some of that Karate Combat coin, which is one of their meme coins. So bullish behaviors, y'all. Let me try to find this Sneak real quick. I know it's around like There's Tezos. I got some Tezos. Let's find that snake before we get out of here. Snake, whatever you want to call it. Let's see what we're doing. There we go. So 292 million right now. Right, it's down 6% in the last 7 days. Like I said, that's not so bad for the market being down. So if that was to go to 40 billion, if it was only to go to 10 billion, that's a triple up for a billion, another 10 times for 10 billion. That's 30x, right? Yeah, 30 times 10. That's still some pretty good damn upside. They actually have a product. They actually have an energy drink. They actually have a good ecosystem, different apps and swaps, different staking abilities. These are things that Shiba Inu didn't have during their last bull cycle. So, that's just how you play the long game, take a little bit of risk. But overall, I'm feeling good about the bull cycle this year. It's ended how we started it. Shout out once again to whoever sent that donation, that $100 donation. Shout out to Tilray. Make sure y'all are staying abreast of what's going on out here in these investment blockchain streets. Thanks for your time. Peace.